Hello, this is the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Thank you so much for tuning into this video in which we will look at dividing decimals. We're going to divide this video in two. First part will be dividing decimals by powers of 10, and then we'll look at dividing one decimal by another number. Okay, so what's a power of 10? Well, we've covered this in previous videos. Power of 10 is a number that has a 1 followed by any number of zeros. So 1, 10, 100,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million, they're all powers of 10. Numbers like 500, 320 are not powers of 10 because to be a power of 10, the number has to have a 1 followed by any number of zeros. So dividing by powers of 10 is easy. That's why I've separated it. It gets its own little segment in this video. So to divide by a power of 10, you move the decimal point left, and the number of places you move it to the left is equal to the number of zeros of 10. So what does that mean? Well, if I have 12.4 divided by 10, I'm dividing by a power of 10, so I'm just going to move this decimal point to the left. How many spaces to the left? Well, because there's 1 0 in the power of 10, I'm going to move it one spot to the left. So 12.4 divided by 10 is just 1.24. So for this one here, 100 is a power of 10. I'm dividing by a power of 10. There are 2 zeros in the power of 10, so I move the decimal point 2 spots to the left and end up with 0.124. So what about 12.4 divided by 100,000? Well, this is a power of 10. I'm dividing by a power of 10, so I just move the decimal point left. How many places? Well, I'm going to move the decimal point 5 spots to the left because there are 5 zeros in my answer. But there's a bit of a problem. If I move the decimal point 2 spots to the left, I'm out of numbers. What I have to do is keep putting zeros on the front. So now I move the decimal point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots. The decimal point goes here. So this is actually equal to 0.000124, a very small number. All right, let's now look at dividing one decimal by another decimal. So when you're dividing a decimal by a whole number, you can just use short division algorithm. It's actually quite easy. So let's say I have 12.4 divided by 5. Another way of saying that is how many times does 5 go in to 12.4? So note 12.4 is the same as 12.40. We might need that extra spot. So I go 5 into 1. Well, that doesn't go. How about 5 into 12? Well, 5 goes into 12 2 times, remainder 2. 5 times 2 is 10, and then 2 more gets you to 12. Now, it's really important when you're doing division with decimals, decimal point goes above decimal point. So this will be 2 point something. So now I go 5 into 24. Well, 5 goes into 24 4 times with 4 left over. So now 5 goes into 48 times and we're done. It's actually pretty easy to divide a decimal by a whole number. But what about when you're dividing a decimal by another decimal? Well, because this was so easy, what we're going to do is somehow make this into a decimal divided by a whole number. So how do we do that? What we're going to do is write this as a fraction. 3.6 divided by 0.6. So, as I said, I really want this bottom number to be a whole number. So what I can do is I can times it by 10. If I times 0.6 by 10, I move the decimal point 1 spot to the right and I make it a whole number 6. But I can't just multiply the bottom by 10. What you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. So if I multiply the bottom by 10, I must also multiply the top by 10. So this becomes 3.6 times 10 is 36, 0.6 times 10 is 6. This is just the same as 36 divided by 6, which as you know is equal to 6. Really easy. So let's use a similar trick here, 1.09 divided by 0.002. So once again, I really want this bottom number to be a whole number. How can I make this into a whole number? Well, I can multiply by powers of 10. It would be a whole number if I could move the decimal point 1, 2, 3 spots to the right. So remember from an earlier lesson, moving the decimal spot 3 places to the right is the same as timesing by 1 with 3 zeros, because I moved it 3 spots. It's the same as timesing by 1,000. And if I times the bottom by 1,000, I must also times the top by 1,000. So I need to move the decimal point 3 spots to the right on the top as well. So on the top, I'm actually going to get 1,090. So if I move the decimal point 3 spots, I'm going to run out of numbers. So I need to write a 0 here and move it 1, 2, 3 spots. If I move the decimal point 3 spots to the right on the bottom, I just get 2. So this is just equal to 1,090 divided by 2, which I'm sure you know how to do. It's just 545, and then we're done. All right, thank you so much for tuning into this video. This has been the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Have a great day.